These 7 cruise rules are now being enforced. No warnings. Cruise lines have quietly flipped the script. Rules that used to come with polite warnings are now being enforced with immediate action. No second chances, no friendly reminders, just fines, removed privileges, or in the worst cases, removal from the ship at the next port. If you like staying informed and cruising smart, hit that subscribe button now because what I'm about to share could save your vacation. Today, we're diving into 7 rules that cruise lines are now taking deadly seriously. Some might seem minor, but break them and you'll face instant consequences. Let's get into it. Rule number 1, the balcony furniture rule. This one catches passengers off guard every single time. You step onto your private balcony, notice the chairs are facing the wrong direction, and decide to rearrange them for a better view. Seems harmless, right? Wrong. Cruise lines are now enforcing strict rules about moving or rearranging balcony furniture, and they're not playing around anymore. Here's what's really happening. Modern cruise ships are engineering marvels, and every single piece of furniture on your balcony has been placed according to precise weight distribution calculations. When you move that chair or flip that table, you're potentially throwing off the ship's carefully calculated balance. But that's not even the biggest issue. The real danger is wind. At sea, wind speeds can reach dangerous levels without warning. Heavy deck furniture that's been unsecured or moved from its original position becomes a projectile. In 2022, Royal Caribbean reported 3 separate incidents where moved balcony furniture caused injuries to passengers on lower decks. One family faced a $2,500 fine after their repositioned table blew off the balcony during rough seas. So what happens if you're caught? First-time offenders now receive an immediate written warning placed on their account. Your steward will report it, and guest services will document it. Second offense? You're looking at a minimum $250 fine with the possibility of balcony access being completely revoked for the remainder of your cruise. No exceptions. The fix is simple. If you really need furniture adjusted, call your cabin steward and ask them to help. They know which items can be safely moved and which ones are permanently secured. It takes 2 minutes and costs you nothing. But ignoring this rule, that could cost you your balcony privileges entirely. Rule number 2, the smoking violation crackdown. Cruise lines have always had designated smoking areas, but enforcement was historically relaxed. A warning here, a polite reminder there, not anymore. The industry has shifted to zero tolerance, and the technology they're using to catch you is more sophisticated than you'd ever imagine. Here's the reality. Every cruise ship now uses a network of ultra-sensitive smoke detectors that can differentiate between cigarette smoke, vape emissions, and even cannabis. These aren't your average home smoke alarms. They're commercial-grade sensors calibrated to detect trace amounts of smoke in seconds. Former crew members have confirmed that security receives instant alerts the moment any detector is triggered, complete with the exact cabin number and timestamp. But here's where it gets expensive. Carnival, Royal Caribbean, and Norwegian have all implemented the same enforcement policy starting in 2024. First violation, automatic $250 fine, no discussion. Second violation, $500 fine plus a meeting with the ship's security officer. Third violation, you're off the ship at the next port with zero refund. One passenger on a recent Caribbean sailing thought they could outsmart the system by smoking in the bathroom with the exhaust fan running. The detector caught it within 90 seconds. The $250 fine appeared on their account before they even left the cabin. Another couple tried vaping on their balcony after midnight, assuming no one would notice. The thermal cameras caught the vapor trail. Another $250 fine. The lesson? Only use designated smoking areas during posted hours. Most ships have them on specific open-air decks. Yes, it's less convenient, but it's the only way to avoid fines that could cost you hundreds of dollars before you even reach your first port. Rule number 3, the guest count enforcement. This rule is so serious that it's left families stranded and cost others thousands in penalties, and it's one that many cruisers still don't fully understand until it's too late. Every cruise cabin has a maximum occupancy listed on your booking. That number isn't a suggestion. It's a strict safety regulation enforced by maritime law. But here's where passengers get into trouble. They book a cabin for 2, then invite friends or family members from other cabins to hang out, watch movies, or have drinks late into the night. Seems innocent enough, right? Wrong. Cruise ships now conduct random cabin checks, especially late at night. If security finds more people in your cabin than your registered guest count, they don't issue warnings anymore. You're hit with an immediate $500 fine per unauthorized guest, and if it happens again, you could face disembarkation. Why the sudden crackdown? 2 reasons. First, fire safety regulations require cruise lines to account for every single person in every single cabin. Unregistered guests in cabins throw off emergency evacuation counts. Second, Cruise lines lose revenue when guests sneak extra people into cabins to avoid paying for additional accommodations. One family learned this the hard way on a recent Carnival cruise. They'd booked 2 connecting cabins but decided to let their teenage kids have sleepovers between rooms without notifying guest services. At 11 p.m., security knocked, found 5 people in a cabin, registered for 3, and issued a $1,000 fine on the spot. No warnings, no exceptions. Here's how to avoid this nightmare. If you want guests from other cabins to visit, keep it to reasonable hours and reasonable numbers. Never have overnight guests who aren't registered to your cabin. And if you're traveling with a large family group, book properly from the start or request connecting cabins with proper documentation. Rule number 4, the public intoxication policy. Cruise ships are floating resorts with unlimited drink packages and bars on every deck. It's easy to overdo it. But here's what most passengers don't realize. Cruise lines are now strictly enforcing public intoxication policies with immediate consequences. The cruise industry has faced increasing scrutiny over alcohol-related incidents. As a result, major cruise lines implemented a standardized 3-strike policy in 2023 that's now being enforced shipwide. Here's how it works. If security or any crew member determines you're visibly intoxicated in a public area, that's strike 1. You'll be escorted back to your cabin, and your ability to purchase alcohol will be suspended for 24 hours. Your cruise card simply won't work at any bar. Strike 2, you're looking at a 48-hour alcohol suspension, plus a mandatory meeting with guest services. Strike 3 gets you removed from the ship at the next port. But here's where it gets even more serious. If your intoxication causes a disturbance, threatens safety, or results in aggressive behavior, you skip straight to removal. One passenger on a Mediterranean cruise became belligerent with staff after too many drinks at the pool bar. He was removed at the next port in Barcelona and had to book his own flight home. Cost? Over $2,000, plus the lost value of his cruise. Another couple was cut off from alcohol purchases on day 2 of a 7-day cruise after repeated incidents of public intoxication. They spent the rest of the cruise unable to buy drinks anywhere on the ship. The automated system flags your account, and every bartender instantly knows you're restricted. The smart approach? Pace yourself. Eat food with your drinks, alternate with water. And if you do feel yourself getting tipsy, head back to your cabin before crew members make that decision for you. Your vacation depends on it. Rule number 5, the prohibited items sweep. Remember when you could pack an iron or a power strip and maybe get a polite note asking you to check it with guest services? Those days are over. Cruise lines now conduct comprehensive luggage scans, and if prohibited items are detected, they're confiscated before you even board. No returns, no exceptions. Here's what changed. After multiple cabin fires caused by unauthorized electrical devices, cruise lines upgraded their scanning technology. Every single bag now passes through advanced X-ray systems that can identify specific items. We're talking irons, steamers with heating elements, extension cords with surge protectors, hot plates, candles, incense, and even certain types of power banks. The consequences are immediate. If a prohibited item is found during the boarding scan, you'll be pulled aside and the item will be confiscated permanently. You don't get it back at the end of the cruise. Some items, particularly anything that could pose a fire risk, are disposed of immediately. This includes that $60 travel steamer you packed. But here's where passengers really get burned. If you somehow manage to sneak a prohibited item past the initial scan and it's discovered later in your cabin, the penalties escalate dramatically. You'll face an automatic $200 fine for the first item and $100 for each additional item. One passenger tried to hide a small clothing iron in a wrapped gift box. It was discovered during a routine cabin inspection on day 3. The fine was $200 and the iron was immediately confiscated. The solution? Know the rules before you pack. Every cruise line publishes their prohibited items list on their website. If you need to press clothes, use the ship's laundry service or the self-service ironing stations available on most ships. If you need extra outlets, bring only non-surge protected power strips. It's that simple. Rule number 6, the photography and drone restriction. This might seem like it belongs in a different category, but cruise lines are now treating unauthorized photography and drone use as serious security violations, and the enforcement is swift. Here's what you need to know. Using drones anywhere on or near the ship is now grounds for immediate confiscation and a $500 fine. Period. Cruise lines consider drones a security risk, a privacy violation, and a navigation hazard. If you're caught launching or operating a drone from your balcony or any deck, security will confiscate the device, fine you, and potentially remove you from the ship at the next port. But that's not all. Commercial-style photography or filming, meaning professional equipment, tripods, or any setup that suggests you're creating content for profit, now requires advance written permission. This includes influencers and content creators. One YouTube creator was approached by security after setting up a tripod on the pool deck for what seemed like standard vacation footage. They were asked to stop immediately and warned that any commercial content creation without prior approval would result in a $250 fine and equipment confiscation. Why the crackdown? Two reasons. First, drones pose genuine safety risks around sensitive navigation equipment. Second, cruise lines are protecting their brand and the privacy of other passengers. They don't want commercial content being created without their knowledge or consent. The smart move? If you're creating content, use handheld cameras and smartphones only. Keep your setup casual. Don't bring professional lighting or large stabilizers. And absolutely never, under any circumstances, bring a drone on board. It's not worth the risk. And now for rule number 7, the disembarkation time violation. This is the rule that shocks cruisers the most because it seems so minor. But cruise lines are now strictly enforcing disembarkation schedules, and the consequences for ignoring them have gotten severe. Here's the situation. On the final morning of your cruise, you'll be assigned a specific disembarkation time based on your travel arrangements. This isn't a suggestion. It's a mandatory schedule designed to clear thousands of passengers safely and efficiently. But some passengers ignore their assigned time, sleep in, or decide to leave whenever they feel like it. Big mistake. Cruise lines now impose escalating fees for late disembarkation. If you miss your assigned window by 30 minutes, you're charged $100. Miss it by an hour? That jumps to $250. And if you refuse to disembark during your extended window, you could face additional charges of up to $500 per hour. Why so strict? Because delayed passengers create a domino effect. They hold up luggage handling, delay cabin cleaning for the next set of passengers boarding that same day, and can even delay the ship's departure for its next sailing. One couple on a recent cruise decided to sleep in and ignore their 8 a.m. disembarkation time. When they finally emerged at 10:30 a.m., they found a $350 late fee on their account. They tried to dispute it at guest services. The response? Non-negotiable. Here's how to avoid this entirely. Set multiple alarms for your disembarkation morning. Pack your carry-on items the night before. If you have a flight and need the earliest possible departure, request it when booking. And whatever you do, respect your assigned time. Your wallet will thank you. So there you have it. 7 rules that cruise lines are enforcing with zero tolerance and immediate consequences. These aren't suggestions anymore. They're hard rules backed by fines, restrictions, and in extreme cases, removal from the ship. The bottom line? Know the rules before you sail. One small mistake could cost you hundreds of dollars or ruin your entire vacation. If this video helped you cruise smarter, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss critical updates like these. And drop a comment below with the words "Cruise Smart" so I know you're part of the informed cruiser community. Until next time, respect the rules, enjoy your voyage, and sail safe.